is the first unit that a child is exposed to growing up. The father, the mother, and possibly the other siblings, if he or she has any. The way they relate has a lot to do with how a child forms opinion about love, trust, respect, forgiveness, a lot. Like they say, a child follows in one's footsteps, not necessarily just what you say. And as a matter of fact, a child gets confused when a parent says one thing and does another. There will be a clash in his or her mind. There will be confusion. So I want to believe that to a very large extent, the family is the first place where a child can form opinion about relationship.
I want to say, when it comes to the family and the home, many times people talk about things like dysfunctional families. I feel like we have to, if we really want to understand what family is, we have to look at, because we all know when we say dysfunctional family, there's so many ideas. So we want to look at what's a functional family and what is the function of a family. The function of a family, in essence, is make someone to be able to be mature enough to be able to deal with society. So the reason why we are in family is so that by the time you are 18, 19, 20, and you are mature enough to be able to deal with society. And that's the only thing that makes us, when it comes to reproduction, different from every other living thing. If a dog has a baby, after some you change the baby away, because the dog does not need so much to function in society. The dog doesn't need how to bark, how to chase people, and how to eat. But the reason why God intentionally made it to be that human beings will spend 18 years at least nurturing a child from baby to adult is because once the child leaves the house, we expect that this child is able to even start their own family and be functional to society in different ways. So when the family doesn't do that, we now start to have lapses in society. So I'd say when we trace back, we have to realize that the family has a role in shaping society, and the family has a role in shaping the children that eventually shape society.
Okay, so from my own take, when we do sociology in education, they teach us that the family is the first point of socialization for a child. And that means that the family influences the way the child thinks, the way the child talks, the way the child relates with one another or other people. So I strongly believe that early childhood is very important and we should take it seriously, because so many people, their destiny are being altered at that point. Now, for example, a child that lacks a father in the home from an early childhood has already started to struggle with the issue of identity. Struggle because there's no father figure to give a sense of identity to that child. Also, a child who is constantly shouted on, the child will grow up being timid. The child will grow up losing self-esteem. And maybe by the mercy of God, sometimes this thing are later interrupted later in life. Like God might just reroute the person back. But once that early childhood, the person starts losing trust, the person starts losing self-esteem, the person feels like they don't have an opinion. All those things count.
What would your advice be to a child that actually has been exposed to a not so good foundation of what friendship, love, and relationship should be like?
I'd like to say this question is so dear to my heart, because I would say that everybody eventually in life will be exposed to things that kind of push them. I feel like generally when we come into this world, we are sheltered initially, but most people, not everyone, the people from the day one they came to this world, from that day they entered a lot of things. But for some of us, from the first day, people are carrying you, they are singing, baby, the parents were happy. And I feel like as we grow older, we get to enter experiences that contradict what God actually wanted for our lives. So for example, I had a pretty short dad growing up, but my mom died when I was 10. And that changed a lot of things drastically. Before my mom died, everyone was, people were happy with you, because I'm very articulate. So it was like when I was a child, my mom ensured that I was articulate. My mom would do debate, would do things in the house. And my mom died, and suddenly was like, a lot of too much. I realized the problem. I realized that child. And for a long time, that became something I had a different identity to. I'm going to show them I'm not bad. Sometimes I will show them that I'm that bad child. People say I'm bad. I will show you what it means to have a bad child. And I realized, even as I've grown older, that life will happen. But what determines your outcome is how you react to life. So one of the things that we have to work into trying to be a young person, it doesn't matter how the point happens, you have to get to where you're saying, I'm responsible for my life. So even if people do things to me, I'm responsible for how I respond to those things. So all through when I said when I was growing up, one of the major things, and then when you complain that you talk too much, you better to be more quiet, talk at more this, talk at more that. And it haunted me because I always felt like, why did God make this kind of person that wants to talk? Like there's almost nothing, I can see something, I can just describe what I'm seeing. And as I've grown older, I've made more money as an adult talking than any other skill I have. Every single day I talk to people, I teach classes, I do things, I'm speaking. So most times we have people that will do things to you and hurt you, but you have to go to an understanding that you're responsible for your life. For me, one turning point for me was when I just entered the university and me and my dad were driving somewhere. I call my dad Daddy Lola, so Daddy Lola was driving somewhere. And I was saying something, and he was like, wait, do you think that you going to school is your right? I was like, of course it's my right now, you're my father, you're meant to pay my school, you're meant to do this for me. And I was like, no, it's not your right. If the day we had you, I dropped you on the road, you will not come and tell me it's your right. He said every single thing you have is privilege. And from that moment, that was the first time it occurred to me and it dawned on me that see, my parents may have done things I don't like, which is fine. But at the time, that was the best thing I have done. It's one of the best things you can do. Just everything that happened. At the time that person, that was the best. Based on what they knew, based on their exposure, based on how they were experienced, based on their own growing up. That was the best. They could have not done anything better. But now, what can I now do based on what they've already given? So that's the answer that Lola said that I said to think to myself, like, yes, me and my dad are not good. Yes, there are many decisions we made that I did enjoy. There are many times I think he should have stood up for me that he didn't. But he paid my school fees on time and I appreciated that. I always knew I had a house, but the house may have not been a house I enjoyed staying in. I may have been insulted and talked on, or, just, you're always like, you talk so much at this in the house, but there was always a house. And so me knowing that at that time, that was the best he could have done, and he provided the best with what he had for me. It is now my own turn to now provide the best from myself. And this is when we now come to Christ, and God is now calling people. There's something you have to realize, is that God will never ask you what people do. If you get to the judgment, God will never see and say, why did your daddy do this? And why did your mommy do this? And why did the world? God will always ask you, what did you do? So we're not responsible for the family we're going to. We're not responsible. You don't choose all that, but you choose what to do. You can choose that this situation is going to make me and mark me, and everybody will know that I'm from a dysfunctional and I'm dysfunctional. Or you can choose that I may come from that place, but I will not be like that, and I'm going to make a difference.
I'm looking at a child who does not even know that what she's having is not the best. So if such a child should ask us, how should we respond? So I would say that such a child needs healing. Such a child needs a lot of healing. And I would also say mentorship. That is where mentorship comes in. And we also hope that from what we are sharing this morning, anyone that comes in contact with this will also learn one or two things. Now, and also readings, when you read books about families that you admire and all that, I want to believe that then one can desire more. One can go out to ask people, what do I need to make a better home than I have had growing up? One should not just say that because I had a bad experience growing up as a child, that is what I am going to build in my own home. No, it shouldn't continue.
Okay, let me use a particular story that really explains this. So there's a reality show, and there was this particular man. He went on a tour with his brother. So he is from the same okay, they are from the same family, but their family bettered two realities in them, such that the brother vowed never to marry again. Because their family is shattered, their father is a drunkard, a lot of things went wrong in the family. So the brother vowed that he would never marry again, that he does not want anything to do, he just wants to live his life. Whereas he determined that, whatever happened to my parents, would not happen to me. I would change the reality. I would change the narrative. And he became very rich. He's doing very fine. He has his children and his lovely wife. So for the fact that you come from a particular situation, it is the outcome. You are to determine the outcome. What do you want to happen to you at the end of the day? Do you choose to let that color your life and destiny and change it totally? Or do you choose to create the reality that you want to see with the help of God? So I will encourage anyone who has gone through a dysfunctional home to please choose right, choose life, choose to live your life to the fullness that God has made available to you.
When we even say dysfunction, many times people already have a picture of what dysfunction is. I want to say that even a home that is similarly functional, based on some small things, they can make children feel like they dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like I was giving an example of my family. My family is similar. My family is very functional. Like my dad, I have a wonderful mom now, and they love each other. So I've never had the experience of parents that fight or anything. But I knew that because of my personality, I'm an extrovert born in the family of introverts. Because of my personality, I was always like, why do you talk like it's white people? So some of you may be like, my parents are wonderful, but they don't understand me. You want to realize that even them not understanding you, God understands you, and you can still make something out of that them not understanding you.
True.